Yo, what's up, Internet? This is not Sinus Media. Sinus Media is my channel for talking about music and kind of programming music stuff. This is a new channel I'm going to create just for talking about non-musical but fun programming ideas I do. And in particular, in that whole sort of world of future of coding, which kind of is part of a tradition of live innovative programming environments, the Smalltalk tradition, the hypercard tradition, also like the hypertext tradition, Xanadu, Ted Nelson, Doug Engelbart's Augment, Alan Kay's stuff, those kind of ideas from the 60s, all the exciting things that we all kind of wish we could get back to, Brett Victor's environments. This channel is going to be about that and other ideas for using coding to do kind of interesting, creative, but kind of real work as well, not just like making music. My other channel is about making music with code. This is going to be doing other things, including serious stuff with fun code. Today I'm just going to take you a quick overview of my wiki software. I've not made a proper video of this to show anyone. It's like part of this sort of home, my wiki. If those who know what wikis are will know what they're expecting. It's kind of like that digital gardening space. I've run a wiki for 20 years almost, where I started with a usemod wiki back in 2002. And it's gone through a history. I've used several different wiki engines, some of which I've written. This is my new one. It's written in Clojure. Let's just see what it's all about. It's called Cardigan Bay. It's a bad pun. It's a bad pun because its pages are made of these cards, these separate sort of white things here. First couple of things you'll see, we can embed pictures. It's just standard. Hit this edit button, you'll see these are more or less standard markdown, except there is a particular, cards are separated by horizontal lines here. If you put horizontal lines and this colon and then a type, it becomes a different type of card. So here's an embedded image card. You'll see we put the type, it's a media image from the media library, and the source is the name of the file, cardiganbay.png. Links are standard double square brackets. So standard wiki stuff. You'll see that it's also got a card automatically generated at the end called backlinks, so we can see all the other pages that link back to this page called Cardigan Bay. Should be pretty straightforward. At the top here you'll see hello world, you'll see about this wiki. That's got some statistics, some of the directories you care about, where the data actually is, the name it's going to append to things. It's got recent changes, so you can see what the latest pages that were changed are. You've got this back button and this forward button here. The reason I will at some point hook these browser back and forward buttons in, but I can use this on my tablet or on phones where back and forward buttons are not so easy to get to. It's got an export all pages link here. You hit that, you will get all the pages exported as a flat HTML files. I use this to manage ThoughtStorm's wiki. As I say, it's a wiki I've run for 20 years. It's currently it's sitting up there at ThoughtStorms. This is just a flat site. It's got about 4,000 pages, but it's just flat HTML up there. Oh yeah, so GitHub or GitLab, Cardigan Bay, that's where you get it if you don't like GitHub. It's in Clojure. It means it's, if you can either get the source code or it's distributed just as a zip file with a jar, an Uber jar that's got everything you need and a quick script to run it from the jar file. So it runs on Windows, Linux, probably runs on Mac, should run on Mac. I don't have a Mac to test it, but it's fine on Windows and Linux. We're on Windows at the moment because I'm making a video, but it's all developed on Linux. It also runs in a Linux virtual machine, userland, Android, Linux. I've run this on my tablet. This is the userland app on my Android tablet. It's got a little Linux virtual machine in it. I run this whole thing that I even have developed. I've been traveling in Patagonia last year for a month. I just worked on this code. No, I didn't just work on the code for a month, but that month I just worked on the code inside the tablet, 8-inch tablet. It worked fine. I was using Emacs, I was writing Clojure. It works wonderfully when you don't want to carry a laptop around with you. So that's what Cardigan Bay is, what it's all about. Some interesting things it will do. Well, you've seen already, just put there, Cardigan Bay. Say embeddable pictures. We've also got the ability to, okay, so we've got some evaluation examples. We can put Clojure scripts into here. We've got a Clojure script workspace. You'll see we have some code here. We can click the run button. It will give us the results there. You can also click the calculator button, see these kind of intermediate data format. That's useful if you need to do some debugging. But if you just want to run this code, I mean, here we're getting the even numbers from 1 to 70 or 0 to 70. That's what we're filtering out. And we're just wrapping this comma separator around it. We could change that obviously to 30, and we could change that to odd and just show you, run it again. Yeah, it's giving you now the odd numbers from 0 to 30. By default, it's kind of, everything here is written in hiccup, so we could try doing, say, a div around this, and we will replace this function here. You've got to do this like this, fn, and then we just do, say, a list item with x around it, and we run that code, and you'll see it's turned, the output has turned into a list. Right, so that's for running Clojure script in the browser in this interactive workspace. So the kind of inspiration here is things like Jupyter, etc., etc., Jupyter Notebook or IPython Notebook, some of those live environments. Obviously, this is quite new. I will start figuring out how to put access to certain kinds of libraries as well. At the moment, I don't have that, but I'm thinking how to do that. And we'd like to be able to, you know, my goal here is to be able to write little simulations and have sort of graph outputs and stuff like that. It's still work in progress, but, you know, we already can do some of this. Now, just to be clear, if you work in this environment itself, this is not going to save the code changes you make. So the only place to save code is hitting this edit at the moment, is the edit button here. The whole page is just like flat text. That was something that was really important to me. I mean, I know some people would want a more WYSIWYG type environment, but I'd say I've been using kind of wikis that just have a text box like this for a while. I actually like it. I have my own reasons. I'm not going to go into them today. I'll rephrase that. I just made a video that was about an hour and a half explaining everything, and I realised it's too long and no one's going to watch it. So this is the quick version. So I'm not going to explain why, but at the moment we just have this page for editing, and you can obviously save changes, etc., etc. At some point I will add a more WYSIWYG-like way of working on things, but it's not there yet. The other way we can embed code is code that's actually run on the server, and we can do that with cards like, say, here we say eval raw. This is producing the result. So this will run on the server as the page is being downloaded, and then it just replaces the contents of the card. Here's one that's just raw text. Here's one that still gets re-evaluated using Markdown, so things like this asterisk will turn into a bullet point again. Let's just save that, and you'll see those cards here. That was the output of the eval raw. This is the eval MD. We can also include links in the output. We can even include these sort of tables, stuff like that. Sandbox. Let's go to the sandbox. Here's an example of another sort of card. This is a card which makes calls on the system. So here we have certain functions that can be run on the system. We make those cards of type system, and here if it's a system card, it's got a command. In this case, it's search. It's a query, and the thing we're searching for is hello. If we save that, and you'll see that that card has given us all of the pages that contain the text hello, links to them. You might think, well, why not just have a search box somewhere? Well, I actually really am interested in, and I'm not going to go into this in a lot of detail, I made another video, kind of the enemy for me is direct manipulation. If you type something, some code, and then it does something, the gap between what you type and what you get out is the leverage that computing gives you. In other words, you type something and there's a multiplier that goes on. I say that's where the magic happens. You can type a little thing and you get a lot out. If you're doing direct manipulation all the time, you're kind of forced. The amount of effort you put in is kind of always proportional to what you get out. What you get out is always, let's say you're changing the font of the text manually. You go to all the text and you kind of highlight it and you say, make this new font, or in 6 different places. If you change a style sheet, you've got indirect manipulation, but now you change the style sheet in one place and 100 pages can have a new font. So I'm always interested in that multiplier effect, which is why when I see an opportunity like this to say, not do a direct thing, but type something simple, change this hello to, let's say, cardigan, right? What pages contain the word cardigan? Save that. Now we've got a card here that always is up to date with an up-to-date search in it, and you'll see all those extra pages. So that's some of the other things we've got. I'm rushing through this because I just want to give you a feel for what's in it. What I was going to say, extra markup examples. Here's a page. I use this double comma notation for tables. I really like this. So you can see quite a nice looking table here. That was represented like this. I just put double commas. We put double commas here and they become table rows. I used markdown bolding for the title. There's no special notion of title here. Here's a card. It's an ordinary card, but there's no reason we can't embed HTML. There's no reason we can't embed even SVG. Here's a bit of SVG with a pattern on it. Save that, and you can see the patterns there. We can go in and edit that if we find where the color is defined somewhere in here. But let's just change that to a 190 there. See how that changes our pattern. Yeah, so we made this octagon pinkish rather than greenish. So we've got code embedded. We've got in two ways, both on the server and in the client. We've got different card types. We've got, what I'm looking for is my embedding example. Oh yeah, here we go. Embedding examples are some card types for bringing in things like, I'm a musician, so these were kind of important to me. YouTube videos, SoundCloud playlists, Bandcamp,
activate,
albums, tweets. This is done with a standard OEmbed. So behind the scenes, as much as possible, I use OEmbed. You can see these are embed type cards. You can see we just put the type, we put the URL, we put the caption. As far as possible, I try to use OEmbed, and there is a generic OEmbed type card here at the end. I'm calling it on SoundCloud, but anything that supports the OEmbed standard, we can embed. You'll see here that we have some buttons to do some of the boilerplate for us. So if we were to just go now to SoundCloud, another SoundCloud, I'm being a bit self-indulgent here and putting my own music on it. Let's get a playlist of some sort. This is kind of work in progress, Go Easy mixtape. I'm just going to grab the thing there. I can come here, clear some space, SoundCloud, I press the button, it gives me the boilerplate here. I can now just hit that, call it Go Easy, mixtape in progress. Save it, and now you'll see that's now been embedded as well. So that's embedding cards. That shows you a little bit about these standard boilerplate making things. Get rid of that again. What else have we not looked at? About this wiki just has stuff like broken links. These are links. This getting started page has a link to a page called exporting as flat file. Flat site, you can see that doesn't actually exist. So it's showing us in the broken links. Finally, you'll notice it's got a bookmarklet here. So we've got this, all I have to do is to just drag that, there you go, I drag it up to the bar there. If we went now to, say, a page on Doug Engelbart, let's put Doug Engelbart's Wikipedia page, put him here. No, actually just do someone else. Let's do Alan Kay, because we've already got him somewhere else. Alan Kay, you know, another, all these people, great figures in this augmented intelligence area. So there's his Wikipedia page. I've now got that bookmarklet, so I can just click that. It's added the link to that page into the in queue. I can go to this, open up here. This is the card bar where I could do certain kind of manipulations. And one thing I can do is I can just type in the name of another page, like Tools for Thought here, send that, and now you'll see that that bookmark has been moved to the Tools for Thought page. I'll show you if I go to the sound box again, edit that, put in a link to Tools for Thought here. Tools for Thought. Some of what I'm doing here doesn't really make much sense, but there's the link. That takes me here. Automatic backlinks now, sandbox. I can decide that I'm going to take this bookmark, edit it by hand, but that's, sometimes you just want to edit it by hand, at least. Alan Kay, let's put him, let's put his link there. He's the inventor of Smalltalk, or one of them at least. So there, now we've got, so it's fairly straightforward to capture bookmarks, links. The user interface is a kind of mixture of old school and, you know, a few convenient ways, like moving a card from one page to another. Recent changes shows you what changed recently. You'll see the inbox, obviously that card is gone. There's a couple of bugs in this. It leaves a lot of white space at the top. What else? That's it. I'm not going to say anything more about this. I just needed to get some of this out there so that people could see what Cardigan Bay is all about. Source code is available. That was hopefully a quick video rather than the incredibly long video I just made before. And yeah, this channel is going to be about this sort of stuff. I will keep you posted how Cardigan Bay development is going. I will talk more about how it works, the closure code base behind it, some of the ideas, but more of the philosophy, the ideas behind it, why I'm doing. There's an introduction to Cardigan Bay. It explains the kind of motivations, goals for what I want to do with it, why I'm doing certain things certain ways. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to explore some other interesting things in that tradition. You know, what are the kind of live systems that we can play with today? And yeah, well, subscribe if that interests you. I will be getting back to my music channel soon, and I hope, you know, to see you here, see you there. Thanks for watching. Hope this wasn't complete rambling mess, but if I do it systematically, it goes on for an hour and a half, and that's no good either. So thanks for watching again. I'm out.